Sapoops, happy September 16 and happy Malaysia Day. Well, some of you don't seem very happy about it, but whoa. For those of you who don't know for some reason, Malaysia Day is the day that Sabah and Sarawak joined the Federation. Some of you might also know that it was the same day that Singapore joined the Federation, although it's been yeeted out. But what a lot of people don't know is that it's actually also Lee Kuan Yew's birthday. Yeah, that's right. On this day, September the 16th, in 1923, Lee Kuan Yew was born in 92 Kampong Java. So yeah, finding out that your country got brought into Malaysia is a very interesting 40-year birthday present. But see, Sapoops, so many people in this world know Lee Kuan Yew as the founding Prime Minister of Singapore. The Malaysians think that he's just a guy who created trouble and got yeeted out of Malaysia. But so few people actually understand just how deeply connected he was to the Malaysia story. Like, could have become our first Chinese Prime Minister type connected. That's why I wrote my first history book. Yes, that's right, I actually wrote a book. I sat down, I used my keyboard, I type, and before I knew it, then yes, there was a book. I did use ChatGPT for some parts, but it was basically me just thinking about a super interesting topic right here, which is Lee Kuan Yew. But yeah, like if you think about the whole Malaysia thing as a birthday present, it's not really a birthday present, it's like the result of a delay. Because Indonesia and the Philippines were making their claims, so it was like a delay. But then even when it arrived, right, it was like barang order, barang tak sampai, barang dapat berbeza. And yeah, it was a whole long history of chaos, racial riots, Syed Jaafar Albar, and the sort of nonsense that you see on Malaysian social media nowadays, except without the social media. But see, that's why I wrote the book. It's a kind of history book, comic book if you will, and it's a nice refresher on the whole story of LKY. And yours today for only $6.
Or above if you want to support me.
I might raise the price a little later, so get it today, links down in the description. Get it now. But back to the Malaysia Day thing though, and I think a lot of people think that they got a raw deal. Some people are basically saying that yeah, these guys are basically resource colonies at this point. You've got Zara Kairina's left, right, front and center. People want to boycott the elections. And you might remember that I talked to James Chin just the other day about all the grievances that all the Sabahans have at the moment for not being consulted, not during the Cobbold Commission, not during the UN fact-finding mission that they brought about just to stop Indonesia and the Philippines from trying to claim their lands, presumably because actually they wanted to colonize that land anyway, but they still want to act like they are morally superior. But you know, it's wild to think back on everything that happened, and I'm sure that in history, some people might remember Lee Kuan Yew as a coward, as did Donald Stephens in that made of cheap clay letter.
This letter, I found it going through my dad's old files, which my father wrote to Harry Lee Kuan Yew on the 10th of August 1965, just after the separation of Singapore from Malaysia. My dear Harry, never in my wildest dreams would I have believed that Harry Lee Kuan Yew was a quitter, and that is exactly what you have proved to be. Throughout all the shouting and mudslinging, you have remained a friend, and I have calculatedly refrained from throwing any mud at you privately or in public. Now I find that the friend, the idol, is made of cheap clay after all.
But then it just makes you wonder at some point, you know, like if even Lee Kuan Yew decided to leave, then what does that say about you and your chances? Well, I don't think the Malaysian government is going to actually answer for that. Most probably they don't have an answer and are too busy running around like lost sheep in order to give anything coherent. Even as their own people casually pull them down, well, sorry, no choice, they have to somehow go and jilat those people in order to get their votes, because somehow or another, that's what democracy requires you to do. And for all you know, we are just a little bit of distance away before some new generation Syed Jaafar Albar starts mocking people, being racist, and you have this problem basically repeating over and over again. And I am thankful right now that we have the police, we have the MCMC. You guys are doing God's work Thank you. But you know, Sapoops, whenever I think about Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, and how everything developed ever since independence, I just can't help but think that maybe what they have in Singapore, even though it's a small island right now, is where the real Malaysian Malaysia is. Remember, that was what Lee Kuan Yew wanted to bring about, and he actually ruled the country. He decided every single thing that was going to happen there and what wasn't going to happen there, including, by the way, playing religion in politics, politics in religion, and all of that nonsense out there, which has become the cancer that is basically bringing Malaysia down bit by bit. Well, if you agree with that and you want to understand LKY a little bit better, then you may enjoy the book, so make sure to get that down in the description. I hope you'll like it if you choose to read it. What's up, Oops? How do you feel about Malaysia Day? Does it make you feel good, bad, or neutral? Curious to hear what you have to say after 62 years of Malaysia. Are we better off? Do we have a lot more to celebrate? Well, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And that's all to say about that, and bye.